All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, Richard Dombrov has been quietly busy. I've been saying that been waiting a long time for an update, and one dropped yesterday on the 6th. So, I just picked it up tonight, and we'll go through it. And this is going to be nice because one of our uh, family members here, Jack Dawson, just picked up this game. So, probably help him out a little bit here too and just go over some of the features in this game. I know I just did this a few weeks ago, but now with the update, this should be a lot more fun. So let's get to it. What is Dombrov Baseball? What is Dombrov Baseball? Dombrov Baseball is a digital adaptation of the classic Sports Illustrated baseball game, which came out in the early 1970s. But it does a lot more. So you can do lots of things, like you can roll your own dice. You have to use Sports Illustrated dice, but again, you can find images of what they look like. You probably pick them up on eBay or just pick up some blank dice and make your own. You can also play it just straight out as just a digital baseball sim or kind of as a hybrid. You can play with charts on stuff. We'll get to it. But I wanted to show these patch notes here. And again, this just dropped June 6th. So thank you, Richard. Way to go. Nice job. You can see here, this is an extensive list. I'm not going to read all of this. Oh my God. You can go to the website and actually look at this yourself. But there's been things I'm looking for now. Before anybody gets terribly excited, the UI hasn't changed. It's just again, I'm sorry if Richard is listening to this or any loyal Dombrov users. I love the game too. But, again, the community reaction to the opening splash screen of this has been awful. Once you get into the game and you get past all that really kind of just really, I'm sorry, but aesthetically very bad, non-scalable intro screen compared to the old version, which was nice and clean. And I begged Richard, asked him, please, please, please change this. He didn't. So that is and will continue to be my knock on this game. Otherwise, this gives you an incredible amount of freedom to not only do tons of season replays, and there's like over 100 seasons and projects, whatever, freely available for this. So once you buy it, you never have to buy seasons, which is really, really good. The sound is rudimentary at best. But again, the idea is I don't want to talk about this game's faults in terms of how it's not easy to stream, because it's not. There's not really a lot going on. That it's not all this great animation like Out of the Park Baseball, or even the nice chalkboard of Action PC Baseball. There's no Z plane movement on the ball, which the old version did have that. I don't know why that was taken out. But that's really enough of the negatives. Richard Dombrov has really, really, really done. Are you late? No, you're not late. A wizard is never late, Frodo. He arrives precisely when he means to. So there you go. All right, Barnstorm Life in the Bleachers just finished watching a different video and saw you live. Yeah, here I am. Here I am. I'm all over the place. It's insane. I don't know what's wrong with me. I need a life. So there's so much good about this game, and again, if he would just adopt, just go back to the old interface, it would be so nice. But I don't know, maybe he has a relative that did this, and you'll see what I mean. It's hiding behind these notes. All right, but lots of good things, and if you read these patch notes on your own, again, I'm not going to read all of them. It's 3 pages in this update, so this is a significant update. Plus, some new seasons were added. The game is $25. It's good stuff. It's really a good game. I like it a lot. It takes care of a lot of the logos and ballparks for you. You can use your own. You can also bring in your own ballpark pictures. You want to bring in logos, even though they're already here, you can do that. Player images, all that kind of stuff. I will say that the player cards in the game, if you decide to play it as rolling the dice, the player cards look really nice. So once you're in the game and you're playing the game, it looks great. It's just behind. All right, now one of the things that I was hoping would change, and it did, is this season modified the building of league index values when Negro League teams players are included with the create season from baseball reference workflow. So one of the things that was a problem is if you wanted to import, and some early seasons in baseball aren't done yet in this game, but you can do them yourself. You can create your own seasons. When the Negro Leagues were in existence, the game was having trouble when you're using the baseball reference import, which is, by the way, really cool. I've never seen anything like this in a game. It would just simply hang up, and so you really, you were only you're kind of limited, I guess, to creating seasons after the demise of the Negro League. So that's been fixed now. So, which is really, really neat. This allows you. This will tie in directly to Retro Sheet. The baseball reference data import, though, I'm glad to see that he's done some fixes with this. This brings in not only just players, but it brings in it will bring in fielding data and area for each position of every player on every team, which is really, really, really nice. So really, really like that. He's also, done some fixes for Mac. So this is also available for Mac, for you Mac players out there. You can grab this game. He said, I'm just going to gloss over a couple. Just the distribution of reducing doubles, triples, and home runs results to be more like increasing those results from ballparks tab in the settings and preferences screen, just to distribute, just all kinds of stuff here. Expanded which team IDs from baseball reference or the Lyman database can be for the import of retro sheet lineups, and the lineups tab in the team management profile screen, and the scheduler tab on the league/total screen. So there's some typos in here, but you'll get the answer. And also, it looks like whoever wrote these patch notes really, really likes run-on sentences. So there's an enhancement here, updated play results for the score sheet to include the base when there's a stolen base or caught stealing result, updated play result for the score sheet to include a manager's decision out when the home or when the base runner is thrown out. So lots of stuff on here to go through, and really, really like that they've done it. You can actually resume a saved game, which wasn't possible before. So this is really, really nice. So the splash screen at the program startup to use the same text colors as other primary screens, except from the settings screen tabs. Again, it's bad. But go through here because it's a really, really, really good game. Okay. And let's get into it a little bit for those of you. Hey, there's Nathaniel, Nate, Advocate 8. So Richard Dombrovsky, you've done a great game here. I just wish you weren't so resistant. There's the splash screen, guys, and it is not scalable. And so, actually, no, I don't have my headphones on. I'm going to bring up the old version just for a second so you can see why I was hoping he would go back to the old version. So this looks like Summer of Love, 1967, and somebody took a hit of something or other. Okay, you might hear the opening music to the other one just for a second, but I'm going to bring up the old one just for a moment so you can see what it looked like. This is much better. The only problem with this was having the sort of dark blue on green. But if you compare the two, let me pull this down. There, nice little small window. Right, everything's in the center. Everything was very easy to use. You had a nice little, ballpark image in the background, and you could see everything that you wanted to do. Up here, everything is smaller. It's up in the corner. So again, I'm getting my knocks out of the way, and my knock is this. I had corresponded a few times via email with Richard, asking him, even telling him after I had shown this game for the first time on the channel, that people just pretty much want the old interface and they would buy this game. And Richard's response was, well, no, people just have to adapt to change. So I know that turned a lot of people off there, which is a shame because this is a good baseball game. Yeah, this older version, unfortunately, the older seasons are no longer available because of the program upgrade. You can create your own seasons and stuff like that, but the seasons that are already done and available on the Dombrov website will not work with this earlier version. Now, in a nod to Richard, and let's close this. In a nod to Richard, for those of us that bought the original game back in 2012, or I think it was, we got this new version free. So, but you really got to get by once you get past this part. And this is, I'm sorry, man, it's ugly. But what are you going to do? I'm just an artist. I don't know anything. And you know, master's degree and user interfaces and stuff like that. All right, so you can go in here, set active seasons. So these are the seasons that right now I have installed in one form or another. So it's basically just clicking and you're already into a new season. Okay, so that's pretty nice. You can play any exhibition game in a loaded league that you have. Okay, so this one is a all-time all-stars. There's like 4 or 5 different all-time all-stars leagues that you can put in here. So you just select your teams and go. Okay, now we get into the other things. So if you go into like team management profiles for the ones that you have here, this is where you can do things like customize everything, customize the ballparks, whatever ballpark image that you might want, positioning fielders, and also you'll see here that it has park normalization for every year. And if you go way, way back, we're talking even back to parks from 1872. So let's say that you were playing with the Troy Haymakers. You can actually set your stadium, your ballpark, to the 1872 Haymakers grounds if you want to do that. Okay. You can look at charts, probability. You can look at cards from here. So this happens to be, I have the Atlanta Braves up here. And you can click through and you can see these are really nice looking cards. So the original, if you've ever seen pictures of the original Sports Illustrated cards, they did not look this nice. They didn't look this clean. They were longer. They didn't have the player photo. So, again, really, really nice job on the cards as we go through and look at the Braves. Okay, but let's close that. All right, so this is where you do all the kind of things that you do in action PC baseball. Okay, so let's go ahead and close this. Warning to the wise, do not ever close any X button in this game unless you do have to. There's a reason why. Okay, now we go to league and season tools, and this is really where a lot of what goes on in this game lives. And unfortunately, Miss Milwaukee County Stadium, how about it? Well, I can't say I missed Three Rivers Stadium, but I wish I would have had a chance to see a game at Forbes Field, but that just didn't happen. Obviously, not old enough to have done so. All right, so if you again, you might, some of us, you might have to do a little bit of squinting and stuff like this. But so here's all your rules settings here for whatever you're going to use. If you want to use ballpark effects, year effects. If you want to use defensive error in baseballs, pitcher stamina, all this kind of stuff, you can go in and look at. There's a lot going on in this game. Really, really a lot going on in this game. Here's also you'd restart a season. You can do so player images. If I click on this, this is for assigning player images. I'm not going to do that, but that's how you would do it. So here you can do default, defender, and error ratings for out of position players. So this is really nice if you've got somebody playing out of position, and you can just go ahead and set these to what you think they should be if you don't agree with it. So much like games like Action PC and Out of the Park Baseball, where you can do editing, Baseball for Windows, same way, old time baseball. So this in keeping with everything. Being able to do a lot of editing. Also, you can change these background colors, but I haven't found a way to scale these fonts. and move this down. Again, I'm going to harp on the bad design of just the screens. With a screen with this much information, this should be larger, and I haven't found a way to scale this up. So, Richard, I again, I appreciate this excellent baseball game you've made, but this user interface literally breaks every rule in design and user interface experience. When a person sits down, right, and they fire up a website, they fire up a game, I'm telling you, this is not just me talking. You can look at the research, right? It's just done by Google, done by Microsoft, done by leading universities all over the world. User experience should be such that a person should sit down at your application, your website, and have minimal questions and be able to navigate it. That is not the case here. It's just not. I mean, I could easily compare it, and in fact, I will. And again, guys, I'm not trying to sell you off this game. It's a good game. I own it. It's good stuff. And by the way, and a nice nod too, this patch is also good for the free version. You can download a free version of this game. It's mostly functional. There's a lot you can do with it. So it's not like you're going to just put out $25 and you're out. No, you can try the free version. Everything. There's just a few limited functions in it. So, I do want to balance this. And at the end of the day, this is a good baseball game. This just bothers the shit out of me. So let's look at another game really quickly, just one of its modules. All right, so this is the Baseball for Windows League Manager. Everything is set up, right? You got the nice big screen. We're going to be looking at your schedule and stuff like that. Just like any other Windows app, there you go. There are all your menu choices. And I can just go down here, select one of these, do what I want. So let's say in this, I don't know, what is this, 1949? Yeah. So I can just look at my standings, right? And there they are, right? And this game is from 1995, guys, 1995. Okay, but really much easier to navigate. Okay, so I just like to, I like to support my arguments and my criticisms. There's just so much going on in here. Okay, which is a good thing, but why not make it like this? So I can boom, 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 click, click, click. Okay. So again, now you're going in here to profile. These are all the teams that are included. You can import teams into existing leagues. Again, really nice. You can set all your year effects here that you want to for each league. So because this is an all-time greats league, maybe I want to change the park effects for the American League to something different. You can do the same with the National League. You can also edit year effects. Okay, so if you go into this, you can actually get this deep if you want to. So that's really super cool. You can actually also do a normalization factor based upon different eras in baseball, going up to 2025. So I think that's really nice. But again, you got to really look closely to see what you're doing here. You can even create a team from here, okay, which is really nice. Now, another problem here is the call out button, or the little call out doesn't stay long enough, okay? But again, not a bad thing. Okay, let's go to leagues and divisions. This is basically where you can realign, move teams over, what have you. So I would select a team and then decide maybe I want to move, I don't know why I'd want to, but move the Philadelphia Phillies in the American League and move the Boston Red Sox in the National League. A little bit of shaking things up. Okay. All right, moving right along because there's a lot going on here. This game does have a scheduler in her. You can import, you can use RetroSeat schedules. You can maybe manually add games. You can remove games. You can just generate a schedule if you want. So that's good if you're playing maybe something like this, like an all-time All-Stars or what have you. Okay. You can also do tournaments in this game. So that's something that's becoming very popular. It's available in Out of the Park Baseball and Action PC Baseball. You can also do tournaments here. Waiting for that to be able to happen in Pocket Pennant Run, but we're going to be waiting a little while for the next big update for that. But that's okay. You can retro sheet lineup. So this hooks up everywhere where it should. Okay. The other thing that you can do is you can draft. You can do drafts in this game. So I'm just going to put no on this right now. So this is kind of the whole draft deal. And then finally, we go to tools. And yeah, it is quiet here. Yeah, it's all good. So rainy night in Kentucky. All right. So you can back up seasons. You can export your seasons and export them to Excel. You can restore seasons, import seasons, which we'll talk about in a minute. You can delete seasons, copy them. You can set your active season again from in here if you want to. Then you can also create new seasons. So you can manually do it. You can do a workflow from a local database. This is my favorite here, actually, to create a season with baseball reference. And super nice the way it works. It actually takes you through a workflow step by step by step. There's absolutely no guesswork in this thing at all. You can also just do it from the Lyman database, which a lot of people use. And then you can import teams from Excel. This is an advanced function. Don't really use it. But this is kind of the heart of the program. But I want to talk about the import season. So one little thing that could be fixed, and I'm going to show you this, and also have to show you the website, because you're going to need the website up to do this. Trust me. Okay, so we're going to go to import season. Now, you have two ways of doing this, okay? You could download the seasons onto your PC or your Mac and then just do the import there, or you can import them right from the Dombrov website. Now, I love the fact that you can import things right from the Dombrov website, but there is a problem. And here's the problem. There needs to be a drop-down menu right here to see what seasons are available. And why is that, Beatles, you ask? Well, I'm going to show you why. Because I'm going to bring the website over here. This is like, you want to see what you get with the game, or what you can download. So he just updated this one that I have in here, the all-time All-Stars updated season. So I probably should update that at some point. The 2024 season is in here. There's a 2024 tournament now. And on this side, there's like all-time All-Stars global seasons. The ATS Global, here's another one, Premium Edition, newly designed by Dave Lalacheur and adapted for Dombrov Baseball by Dombrowski. Contains 47 teams divided into 2 leagues plus a third league, including Japanese All-Stars and players from the 19th century. Uses a defensive eras rule method designed by Dave instead of a legacy auto outs rule. Uses a specifically designed schedule and contains DH and non-DH lineups for each team. All player images are aligned with the correct team, and there are specially designed team logos for some teams. So just the reason I'm reading this paragraph is to show you guys how much work Richard does put into the seasons that he's created. Super, super cool. So there's lots of specialty stuff here on the left-hand side. And then the right-hand side is going to be all of these seasons, okay? There's still some gaps, but again, you can just create your own if you want. But let's just say that I wanted to import the 1998 season. Now, I could just click this and download it, all right? But to use this, I just need to know that 1998 is available, and again, most seasons are. So let me do this, all right? So we're just going to put 1998, okay? And then I'm going to hit enter. Then this is what you get. Then you get the drop down, and I think this is just a little bit backwards. So I would have done this to have all of just everything just right there, have this drop down there, but it's not. Anyhow, there's the 1998 season. Boom. Okay, the selected file already exists in the input export folder. So I'm going to just click override. I must have done another video where I've imported 1998. So let's go ahead and override it. Because Jack Dawson, who's not here, was asking how to do this. Okay, now let's close this. And let's go to set active season. And if we go down into our little drop-down menu, there's 1998. Oh, I see why. Okay, so there's 1998. And now we are in 1998. And if we wanted to play an exhibition game, we could just do that. So, Jack, if you catch this after the fact, now you know how to do this. Is there a need to do the baseball reference stuff? Yes, there is. Because there are missing seasons here. As you get back into the dead ball era, there's a big gap. There's some gaps in the 20s. But unlike games like PC Replay Baseball, which just haven't carded those seasons or whatever, everything is available in here. Again, you can also create all-time all-stars. You can do draft leagues. We could do Ned McGreevy in this. The guys that are doing the Fields of Dreams League could do that in this game. It's got deep reporting with it, by the way, too. I was told, I think by Steve Tate, and I'm going to close this and set my active season back to, actually, you know what? I'm going to probably update my all-time all-stars. So here you got league reports for 1998, and they're going to come up. And so there's nothing in here right now, but there's like standings. You'd be able to look at team versus team. You can look at teams. So we're looking at team stats here, and this is the Anaheim Angels, right? So how they did against Writing. You can look at all their fielding stats and stuff like that. Again, you're seeing zeros because we haven't done anything with this season. Okay, so pretty cool there. You can look at league stats, see who's leading in whatever category, which is really, really nice. And then, of course, looking at batting leaders. I'm not going to have any pitching leaders. You'll be able to see game results in here. And then there's notable game logs and injuries that you can check out right there. Okay, and then, yeah, so this will do injuries and stuff like that. So really, really lots that you can do here. I don't know what else to say. This is a short video, and it's a slow night. Don't know if you guys are up for a baseball game of something or other, but so my thing again with Dombrov Baseball is really just the user interface. It's really awful, but once you get in it and you get used to this game, it's a real joy. It also has context sensitive help that you can go into, and any screen where you see the little question mark, it will jump you right to where you need to see things. Okay, where you can set up things to standing is showing as one league, which I think is a really nice sort of touch. Whatever. Okay, so let's go ahead and close this. And let's close this. Just mainly use the close button. I'm going to go ahead and set my active season back to the old all-time all-stars until I put the other one in. Okay. But right now I have what? There's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's all-time all-stars updated. Let's actually put that one in here. And let's have a look. Let's look at team management and profile. All right. And let's look at the Pittsburgh Pirates. So again, if you wanted to, you could put in, you don't have to go with this photo. You can change it. Not a problem. This image is actually from old time baseball, but you don't have to use this. You can bring in your own park images, which is real nice. Okay. Click on park settings. And when you go to park settings, this is where you do all your positioning of your position players and stuff like that. Rename your field, and all that fun stuff. Okay. No need to really go into that. Okay. Let's hopefully let's get this to close. There we go. And what's really nice too, of course, you can change your images right there. So if I didn't want that old Pittsburgh Pirate guy, just wherever you have your logos for your other baseball games, just go ahead and switch it up. So I'm going to set this to the Pirates. This was the one that they used up until 1986. I tend to prefer that one. So I think it's a cool. I've always liked that pirate logo. Okay. Don't know what else to say. It's really, really good. It's a good game. Not usually concerned about it though. Couldn't get that homebrew franchise thing from Action PC to work. You really? You know why, Aaron? I tell you what you probably did wrong, because it's well, there's two things. Okay, that the Blue Rose case didn't explain. So usually when we're installing, and I do want to get back to this, but I will talk about Action PC for a second. Usually you just have the zip file installed. That doesn't work. So what you do, no. So what you have to do with that one is you actually have to unzip it into the game. That's what you got to do. So it's just set up a little bit differently. You unzip it, everything will come up, and as proof, I will bring up Action PC Baseball and show it to you. I mean, because I made the same mistake. I'm thinking, oh, it just works just like any other Action PC, whether it's a homebrew or not. But apparently he set this up a little bit differently. But there it is, Aaron. I have it up there. I know you can't, quote unquote, see it, but they're all here. All the teams are here, everybody. You just have to unzip it to your seasons folder and keep your zip file kind of, just in a safe place or whatever. But it does work. It definitely does work. It's just, it doesn't work like kind of anything else I've ever seen. So I don't know how or why, because I know Steve Tate's works just that way, but for some reason the utility maybe is not recognizing what Blue Rose case created. Okay, but it does work. You just got to unzip it into your seasons folder. Okay, let's close this, and of course you can look at stats right here. The only other problem, this is not Richard Dombrov's fault. So the original Sports Illustrated game used red and green along with blue and yellow, but red and green. So if you have red and green color blindness, you're not going to be able to play this game. Or depending upon how it is, it might be if you can see shades of things, then you're just going to have to adapt. But frankly, you can play this game without these charts at all. This was just for the cards and dice. And, each color means something, not only for handedness for batters, but for plays and rolling of the dice as well. But it's not really necessary for this. Okay, changes were made. Yes, I do want to change them. It's also very rude with its sounds. I think that is pretty much it. You can go to global settings, which I really had hoped that this would be like, okay, I can kind of send all kinds of stuff. So if I go to screen settings, right, hover color, text color, header color, backdrop. So I don't want that text size. So if I go larger, it's not showing me that it actually worked. I just wish it would. But we'll go ahead and save it and then close. And there hasn't really been any change, unfortunately. So you can't scale anything. You can change this background image, which you probably would. Is it a good game? It's a very good game. Richard Dombrov is a longtime Action PC player. And I think just taking a lot of the functionality that's in Action PC Baseball and putting into a package where you can get every season. And it does have that kind of chalkboard style thing. And I could play a game here. We don't need the sound for it. We could just do a couple innings of a game here and show you what it is. I would say check out the free version. I mean, you have nothing to lose but the download. And Richard does support this program. This is his baby. However, the updates just drop. They will just drop. I had no idea because I know Jack Dawson said he just bought this, and I thought, okay, I better mess around with this a little bit. And it's like, oh my God, there's an update for this. Or Richard Dawson, Jack. So Jack, not the game show host who kissed everybody and all that. So Jack, you're going to have to go through my videos, but I did a pretty in-depth tutorial on how to create teams from this using the baseball reference workflow, and it's really nice. So I do like that. I love the fact that this will tie directly into RetroSheet and all kinds of things like that. So the game is worth getting. This is really the big problem, is just this. You get past this, and you've got a pretty good baseball game here. So I'm going to do a couple innings of the game here, and then we'll get out of here. We're just going to make it short tonight. We've got a slow night in the family, just 4 people watching. But you 4 are just as important as if there were 24. Okay, let's play an exhibition game here. And I'm going to try to not pick anybody's favorite teams here that are in here. So let's take the Cleveland Indians, and let's play them against the Detroit Tigers. So nice thing, too, is it automatically just gives you, the logos were signed, which is really cool. So love that part. I'm going to let the computer handle everything. And right here, another problem. So this should say play, but right here you close, right? You can't use this button to close. But again, there's your context-sensitive help if you want. We're going to play this Indians and Tigers, and you're probably going to hear a little bit of sound blaring out of the speakers, but it'll be over soon, trust me. So this is not the main screen, but this is where you can adjust lineups, looking at probabilities, stats, cards, charts, if you want to, okay? But you don't need to. We're going to be playing in Tiger Stadium here. And down here, you just got to look for play Indians versus Tigers. And then you're going to really bad rendition, which you guys can't hear, of the national anthem, which cuts off abruptly. Okay, so here we are. This is what the game looks like if you're playing it as a baseball sim, a digital baseball sim. Okay, if we were doing this to roll the dice, and you wanted to look at out probabilities and hit probabilities, you can change all of that stuff by going to settings. So when we go to settings here, you can do dice roll sounds if you just want that manual dice roll. You can choose to play this as a baseball sim. You can use team charts, player cards. Okay, I always play this as a baseball sim. Okay, I do like to show the player images with results. I don't use speech with play-by-play results, though for Aaron this would be really good because it does have a built-in speech engine, and I do think he got the free version of this. So single-click mode, show you what that is. That's pretty much so this has base runner animation. There's not really animation in this game. Rather, it should be movements. But let's go ahead and let's just do a little thing here. All right. So here we are, Tiger Stadium. It says, welcome to Tiger Stadium for a ball game between the Cleveland Indians and the Detroit Tigers. Bob Feller starts for the Indians against Hal Newhouser for the Tigers. So the play-by-play is serviceable. And so as a person who creates content, I don't usually look at the play-by-play in these games unless there's something that isn't terribly clear. This one, I have to look at the play-by-play because a base hit and a fly out look the same. Because again, there's no everything, all the so there's no. There's the animation is basically along the XY axis. There's no Z, which means a fly ball and a base hit to right, whatever. There's not going to be any arc on the ball. All right, so here we go. All right, so leading off here is Shoeless Joe Jackson. So one click here basically is just the same thing as hitting C. The computer just doing the play or whatever. In Action PC Baseball, this is basically the same thing. Okay, but you can override anytime that you want to. Maybe I might want to have Shoeless Joe bunt here or something. I'm just going to go ahead and let it do one click. And no sounds, but let's do it. All right, so Newhouser deals. And this ball is swung on. And Harold Heilman ranges back, and he will make the catch for the out. You saw there's no Z plane. So I had to watch this to see whether that short hopped Heilman, whether it was a base hit, past McAuliffe into right. But since most people aren't creating content, that's not such a big deal. Okay. Also, if we had the play charts up here, probably would make it a little easier for folks maybe playing this. So let's set this to team charts. Okay. And we'll click save. Okay. Now you're going to see up here, this really matters, I think, more if you're using the dice. So this will help you. So the dice rolls and everything like that. And let's just go ahead and pitch and bat. And then you'll see up there. Okay, so this one, McAuliffe up with it and over Greenberg for one out. And there you get to see the dice result. Okay, I am going to set this back, though, because I don't really play it this way. Okay. For $25 and tons and tons of seasons, everything freely available, plus the ability to make your own seasons and do what you want. There's a lot of baseball to be played in here. And again, what I find interesting about this game is that really bad splash screen, right? But this interface works really well. It works really, really, really well. So, I want to go down here and I want to look at lineups. I can just go back to this lineup screen. I can close it. If we click on results here, we're basically seeing that it's populating as it goes along a score sheet. And this is easy to read right here. So I would make it a little bit larger, but that's okay. And then there's the box score. Okay. So we can go back, score sheet, box score, close it. All right. Right. Who do we have up here now? We have Napoleon Lajoie. Lajoie batting with 2 down here, top of the first at Tiger Stadium. All-time All-Stars updated. And with just one click. And Newhouser deals. And this one is swung on. And Harvey Keene up to it. And over to Hank Greenberg. 6-3 put out. All right. So we go to the middle of the first inning. And it's the Indians nothing. And the Tigers coming to bat. So Ty Cobb leading things off here. Each player has ratings. By the way, you can't double click a player and look at them this way, unfortunately, but their pictures at least pop up. So that's kind of cool, right? At least there's the pictures. All right, so Cobb cuts on this one. This one, high fly ball to left field, and Colavito will make the catch for out number 1. Brings up Dick McAuliffe. Lefty batter. Here's the pitch from Bob Feller. McAuliffe cuts on this one, and this one's going to be grounded deep in the hole to second. And this is going to be Chapman over to Lajoie for the out. All right, so 2 down, and batters automatically up here. Hall of Famer Harry Heilman. Here's the pitch from Feller. And Heilman swings in this one, and this one gets down for a base hit. So again, that looked like there was no way you can tell it was a fly ball or whatever, so you just got to look up here. This is customizable too. If you find that this sort of aquamarine or whatever on blue hurts your eyes, you can fix it. I like the player photos. They look really, really, really nice and clean. So there we go. That's pretty much it. So Jack, hopefully you'll catch this. And so Greenberg caught looking, strike 3. We can go ahead and we're going to just quick play this game. 2DN. Do not select spectator mode, by the way, in this game. It's just I don't think this has been fixed. So there we go. And for the curious among you, the Indians won this exhibition against the Tigers 6-3, 6-10-0. For the Indians with 7 left on, and for the Tigers 3-6-0 with 8 left on. And there's your score sheet. And then you can of course look at your box score. And then when you're all done doing all this fun stuff, you can just finish the game and close. And you're back at the screen. Okay. Yeah, so it's working now. Okay, good. Good, Aaron. All right, guys, that's it. I was hoping Jack Dawson would come in, but he didn't. So it was kind of for him. And I guess that's it. Everybody's just kind of chilling on a Friday night. So thank you for this look. And thank you to Richard Dombrov for a really good baseball game. And I really, really wish you would reconsider and go back to your old design. This just isn't, it's just not. That is my knock on the game. Otherwise, I think it's a fine game. It's not a great game for streaming or anything like that, but it's great to fire it up and play some baseball. And at the end of the day, that's what we really do. You know, those few of us that create content, you know, we do certainly look for things in baseball games, but it's not fair to ask a developer, hey, make this a little stream friendly. So the UI, and I'd love to be able to tell the difference between, you know, base hits, line drives, fly balls, pop-ups. But I'm not going to bitch. It's a $25 game. It gives you so much freedom, so much flexibility, a lot you can do with it. So check it out. Free version is available. All right. Thank you to Aaron Reed, to Nathaniel, to Barnstormer Life in the Bleachers for coming in. And Aaron Reed was the first one in the ballpark. Before I run, is there any questions anybody has about anything? I know somebody had a question about Pocket Pennant Run baseball that I was able to answer, and that was about the what to do in park effects. So let me bring it up here and let's see if we can. Of course, that might mean we have to play a little bit of a game here. We're going to bring up Pocket Pennant Run here just to answer that question, because a lot of people still aren't clear about how to handle park effects. And they're really, really pretty. It's really pretty easy to do. Let's just let this load up. There we go. Yay, Pocket Pennant Run. So Paul Fay is on vacation, and his wife has said that he is not allowed to do any play testing or anything like that. So I guess that gives Craig time to work on. I can tell you guys there's going to be some very, very significant updates to this already excellent game. A lot of people reporting in the Facebook group that they're happily playing it. Some people are creating house rules and stuff like that. And I mean, I think we do that with sort of any games that we play. All right, let's just pick a game from history. I just want to play it up. Hopefully we should get a park effect. Okay, let's see. Do I have any season schedules? Yeah, sorry about that. Do I have anything saved here? Oh, yeah, there's 1949. So we'll just go ahead and load 1949. And let's just find, where's the Brooklyn Dodgers? Let's find a Brooklyn Dodgers team. There we go. Dodgers Giants. This should be fun. Okay. And let's play it. Takes a minute. There we go. All right. Now, just to remind everybody again on this, and let me just edit this title because people won't be coming on here. And some PPR questions answered. There we go. All right, let's see changes on that. Okay, good. So for these games, if you wanted to change pitching fatigue, you certainly can. We're not going to do that right now, though. All right, let's play game day, and we are going to play advanced Dodgers and Giants. And here we go. Hopefully, we get a park effect pretty soon. But basically, I'll just explain it, and then we'll just play a couple here. So, so you look up here. This says Ebbets Field is a hitter's park. So on a park result, all right, you actually go to the power column. All right, and let's say that the blue die would have said a 10. Okay, so if it's a hitter's park, or we already know on a 10, it's a home run for Bill Rigney here of the Giants. Now, if this was a neutral park, we leave it there at 9. If it's a hitter's park, we would move this up. This is still a home run. But if it's a pitcher's park, you move the die result down 1. So in this case, if this was a pitcher's park, you would just look at power and go down to 9. Again, assuming the die roll would be a 10 in this case. And instead of a home run, Bill Rigney would have a double. Okay. Of course, you can reposition fielders. I know people have talked about that. So you can go to fielders. You go to the fielders tab, and you can set fielder positions. Everything is done in zones in this game, zones 1 through 6. So zone 1 down the left field line all the way over to zone 6, right field line. Why would you want to do that? Well, you can see the ratings here. So this first baseman, there we can see here that the Dodgers are a little bit stronger on the right-hand side of the field. So, but let's just say, for sake of argument, that this shortstop was rated blue or green. What I would do is I would position him in this zone, because then he can cover more. Because in the advanced version of this game, you have range plays. So you do want to try to position your fielders. Okay. I could probably move this left fielder as a zone 1, and then the center fielder is going to be able to take up more of this over here. But again, not a very strong outfield, just strong in center with Duke Snyder. Okay. So, hey, there's Paul. Paul, who's taking a break. So, Paul, I was just answering a couple questions that people were asking in comments about pocket pennant run baseball, especially the park thing and stuff like that. So hopefully that helps. And just reminding people some of the few things. I just got done going over Dombrov baseball, which dropped an update. So just kind of glossed over some things you can do in that one. And now we're a pocket pennant run. Yep. So Paul's on vacation, guys. Going to take a while for the next update, but big things are coming. Big things are coming. And if you're in the Facebook group, you've already seen Craig and Paul talk about these things. So this is not spoilers, just join the Facebook group. There's 777 people in there now, or something like that. So one of the things that's going to be, sort of, to use Paul's term, bolted onto this, is going to be more nuanced ratings for players. So right now we see player ratings of A, B, C, and D. And I think this is actually a great idea that they're going to be doing this. I don't know if this originated from Paul or Craig, or it was kind of two minds thinking alike. And let's not leave out Matt. So all three of these guys. And I get this. So the difference between an A hitter and a B hitter, that seems to be a huge gulf. So you guys know that when I play out of the park baseball, I used a 1 to 100 rating scale. I don't use 1 to 10. I certainly don't use 1 to 5. And then we use 1 to 5 as an example, because to me, the difference between a 5 and a 4 hitter is pretty significant. But there were people making compelling arguments that these ratings, there needs to be more. So there's actually going to be, if you're a graduate student in college, you had this kind of thing, A, B, C, D. There are no pluses and minuses. But what's eventually coming in this game are going to be plus and minus ratings and stuff like that, which is going to significantly, it's going to nuance the game. I think it's going to make it a lot more fun, if it can be any more fun than it is. And it's no secret player pictures are coming. I kept that quiet until it actually was mentioned in the Facebook group. And I'll tell you that Paul showed me a preview build of it a couple weeks ago, and the player picks bring it up to the next level visually. There's going to be all kinds of stuff that we've been talking about. Schedule generators, because people are, and I'm happy about this. A lot of people are doing, they're doing like they're creating teams, and they want to be able to play seasons with the teams they've created, and I love that. I love that. So Paul says, I don't know if I should whisper this. Your wife can't hear right now, can she? Starting update. Craig has been working this week on Ghost Runner. Hate it, but some people, yeah, blah, Ghost Runner. I know, right? So the ratings are going to apply to the board game too, guys. So more stuff coming. I would just tell you, just join the Facebook group and again, buy this game. Again, this game gives you, in terms of creation, what you can do more than any other baseball game out there, more than anybody out there. And I know there's still a lot more. I know I've asked Craig, are you going to be expanding, putting in more minor leagues, only AAA, but how about some AA, single A? And he said that's maybe further down the list, but they're really concentrating on a lot of gameplay and stuff like that. So, which is fine with me. That's absolutely fine with me. I don't really play much minor league baseball. Actually, I'm playing it all, but I know that there are people that would like to, as you can, let's say in out of the park baseball, go back and play, in the Pacific Coastal League when Ted Williams was there, or when Joe DiMaggio was there, or what have you. You can't do that here yet, but still, there's like 8 databases in this game. So, Negro League Baseball built right into this game. Great stuff, right? Let me see. Yeah, but people who are original supporters can still play how they prefer. Oh, absolutely. In fact, so Paul mentioned difficulty with the Facebook group is some people are still referring to the instability of the first versions. Persuade them to try it again. And I hope they do. Oh, yeah, All American Girls Professional Baseball League. Yep, good stuff. Yeah, so again, and that's in options too, just to refresh your memories. And in fact, I do suggest to people the first couple times you play this game, right? Okay, close this. This is just play the basic game just to get used to the flow of the game. But I guarantee you that once you do play advanced a few times with pitcher warm up, you'll never go back to this. Not that it's inferior, but there's just going to be certain things that aren't going to happen in the basic game. This game has been rock solid. Let's go back to settings and set everything back to advanced. This is the first baseball game, in my opinion, that has gotten pitcher warm-ups right. I don't think any of the other ones do. This one does. And really, really applaud Craig, Matt, and Paul for that too. It just does it right. So you can also enter custom park info if you're using it as board game assistant. So again, how this game has kind of how it's evolving. It's just astounding. I don't know what these mad scientists are going to come out with next. It's incredible. So custom dice and picks will be the next major update, and that's going to be really nice. I'm looking forward to the player picks myself. I don't roll any dice, but I'm certainly looking forward to the player picks. I'm telling you guys, they look really nice. So how these logos make it pop, the player picks just bring it to a whole new level. And just remember, this Pocket Pennant Run software is free. I mean, I still think that Craig and Matt are crazy for offering this for just the $14.99 PDF stuff, but it's what they're doing. They love the community and creating it, but man, just spring for the extra and get the physical game. They deserve it. There's a lot of work being put into this. And I hasten to add, Paul doesn't get a penny or a pound or a euro or anything. He's just doing it because he loves the game and believes in the game too, right? What else we got here? Then the update after that will be scheduling custom leagues, tournaments, and stats package. Oh my God. So once that happens, then is when I want to do what the player picks is probably where it'll start. But the project that I want to do with Pocket Pennant Run that I was talking to you guys about, where we just pick a game in baseball history, talk about it as we're playing the game. This has an advantage over every other baseball sim, and that I don't have to load a season to play any game in baseball history. I love that. No other game does this. That's a big feature, and I think one that maybe people either overlook, maybe take for granted. I'm not sure, but nonetheless, it's great. So I could jump out of this Dodgers Giants game, and you guys could pick a date, and we would do it. And they're as played lineups too, which is super, super cool. This has roughly 200,000 games with as played lineups. So literally any game in history, pretty much you can play. You want to play the World Series, you want to play an All-Star game. It's all built into this game already. The All-Star games aren't even built into Out of the Park baseball, which kind of really surprises me. Don't know what they're thinking of over there, but building the All-Star games, the actual, some people just want to play All-Star games. Diamond Mind has all the All-Star games. So Out of the Park, get your shit together. Catch up to Pocket Pennant Run and Diamond Mind, please. So yeah, how about it? Being able to do that. I mean, so let's jump out of this Dodgers Giants game here, because whatever, right? And let's get out of this. Okay. So here it is. You pick or we pick. So it will pick a random date for you, or you could do one. So I don't have any one game in mind. So I'm just going to pick a date from history. So do I have to do this month? Yes. So 09. So let's pick a game in September of some damn year. I don't know. So 9/21. I don't know, 1975. Let's see what was. Then you just hit show available games, and there they all are. So maybe that's why I'm saying for you guys, when we start this project after the player picks release, because I do want to have the pictures of the players. I think it's really important. But let's say that you wanted to play this Mets Phillies game. This was a good one here, 4-2. Or how about the Giants Padres 2-1 game? But let's do this. All right, let's do the Mets at the Phillies, and this was September 21st, 1975, print play game. And it's going to be digging all through that. Again, I'm not going to go over how to change pitcher fatigue. I've done that many, many times, and when I play again, I will. Because when I played in the dead ball era, I always put pitcher fatigue at 9, just to be a little bit more accurate with that era. But let's go ahead and play game day. Mets and Phillies, of course, we're going to play as advanced. I do like that it gives you the choice every time, because sometimes you want to just play with the board game assistant without the dice, or playing with any of these 6 here that have the dice included, or you just want to play normal, whatever. So nice touch. All right, so there we go. And if we look here, we can see that in this game, Skip Leonard came in as a relief pitcher. So anything above the dotted line, that means that player didn't start but did come in. Okay. For the Phillies, looks like the Phillies pretty much just didn't call anybody out of the off the bench or anything like that. But we can look at the bullpen, and we can see that Tug McGraw came in and undoubtedly closed this. So it's all right there for you. There's all their stats, everything like that. So any game, if it's in the database, and it's what, Paul? It is about 200,000, isn't it? It's about 200,000 as played games, as played lineups, what have you. So he now plays 19th century baseball because, yay, cool. We'll get you. That's Ken Castro's. I mean, I love 19th century baseball. I want to get you. I want to try to get you into dead ball. Get you in the dead ball era, man. Yeah. So dead ball, like 1893 to 1919. So, but you're playing 19th century baseball, and I think that's awesome. That's Ken Castro. He's the real expert on that one. But glad you're doing it, man. Oh, you already know dead ball. What? I don't have to get you into dead ball. You told me you were a dead ball player. So yeah, welcome to 19th century baseball. I think at some point pick it up for cheap on eBay. Get David Nemec's Great Encyclopedia of 19th Century Baseball to greatly enhance your enjoyment of playing baseball from that wild formative years of baseball. And even after the modern game starts in 1893, and then but 19th century, 1871 to 1900. Have fun. All right. So, who do we got here? We got John Matlack on the mound for the New York Mets. And we got Dave Cash leading off. Dave Cash, um, formerly of the Pittsburgh Pirates. And let's roll the bones, baby. Oh, and here we go. This is going to be a batter 9, and Dave Cash opens it up with a base hit to right. So Cash is aboard, batter up. Let's see what Danny Ozark, would he like to call for a steal? Yes, he will. So my house rule is if the runner is blue or green, I'll go by the manager. Sometimes the manager will want to steal if it's a yellow, and it's like, I don't think so. So let's look at these steal percentages here. So Cash is a B against Ron Hodges, which is an A. And you can always reset the at bat, and you can always override the manager. So I'm not going to call for a steal at this time. Okay. Green, I will steal. I just say yes. Green is a definite steal. Blue, I got to think of it. Do you really want to start Cash right now? I don't know. This guy's, he's an A hitter. So, all right, here we go. And this is left, right. We look at their handedness. So, and this is, oh my God, my eyes tonight. Okay, so Larry Bow is a switchy. So there's no pitcher advantage in this at all. Okay, so this one is hit out into right field. So we look at the batter result, and it's an 8, and this is a base hit, and Dave Cash is going to move to third on this one because it's a runners advance 2 bases. So runners at the corners, and now I'm going to go ahead. There's Mike Schmidt. So do I want to take the bat out of Schmidt's hands? I'm not taking the bat out of Schmidt's hands, but we're going to attempt to steal, and safe. So Larry Boa, he's almost a guaranteed stolen base guy. So the Philadelphia Phillies here in the top of the first with 2 in scoring position. Mike Schmidt in the box. And here is the pitch. And we got us a range play in Mike Phillips. And that's going to be a 6. And that's going to be a ground ball. But the runners are going to advance on this one. And that's going to score a run. Boink. There we go. All right. So Philadelphia jumps out to an early lead here. Scoring a tally here in the top of the first. All right, who's in there now? Greg Luzinski. It's wheels. Look out. Greg Luzinski. Cash was also in Montreal Expos. Yeah. Aaron Reed loves some 19th century. Well, so it's you, me, Ken Castro, Clinton Parks, and Paul Fay. That's pretty much it when it comes to 19th century baseball in this community, unfortunately, because this is some pretty exciting stuff. And here's a neat thing. Said it before. There was one game that actually will take into account the rules of the 19th century, and that's Action PC Baseball. The caveat, if you want to call it that, is you have to play it in pitch-by-pitch mode if you're playing in one of the years where 8 balls was a walk or something. If you play it in pitch-by-pitch mode, the game will actually, you'll see ball 5, ball 6. So really, I think really cool of Dave Cook to put that into the game to adjust for the rule changes. Only game that does that I know of. All right. Anyhow, here's Luzinski, and here's the pitch. This is swung on, and this one hit out to on the left side of the diamond. So this is a lefty righty. So we're just gonna. There's no advantage for the pitcher on this one. So this one is going to be a ground ball double play, but it's actually really not going to be a double play, is it? Well, I guess it could be. This is going to be a weird double play. So, Paul, here's a question for you if you're still here. Because I sometimes house rule these things. So I've got a fast runner on third here. I've got, I think I got, who's this hanging out here? Yeah, Larry Boa. So wisdom says that Boa would be off on the pitch, but this is ground to third. So even though this is calling for a double play, which would be a 5-2-3, it's be an unusual double play. So the result on this one is a this ground ball double play asterisk. So I think what I want to do on this one, Cash is going to be breaking for the plate. Since the runner's advancing, I should just score this as a 5-3, and Cash would score, right? Well, this is already saying that Cash is going to, he's advancing anyhow. So it's not, so what I'm saying is the double play wouldn't happen, but rather just would be a 5-3 and Boa scores, right? All right, we'll try double play, see what it does. All right. But this is going to be a manual out kind of double play. And see, it does gives us the double play asterisk right there. So it's not going to be straight up double play anyhow. But let's say first fielder is going to be the third baseman, who's going to go to the catcher, who's going to go to first base, and let's see if it blows up. That it took the double play. So the runner, but see, the thing is the runner didn't advance, which he should have. So I normally would have scored that, and we go to the bottom of the first. Phillies 1, Mets come to bat. I would have scored it since it had the asterisk. I was just curious what you would do, Paul. That Larry Bowa would have been breaking for home. They weren't able to get him, right? It was just 5-3 because of Bowa's speed. So what do you think? Oh, yeah, I know I can reset the at-bat, right? So overrules you and say he holds. Okay, cool to know. Just like to get opinions. Again, the flexibility is there. I would have had Cash score because now if it was a straight up double play, which is what the game wasn't calling for, then yeah, then that 5-2-3 double play, which I did, works. But technically, actually, I am going to reset the at bat since there was an advance on the play. Let's do that. All right, so I'm resetting the at bat. So this is just going to be a 5-3. And the runner's going to score is how I'm going to do it without rolling the dice. Don't have to do that. So this is going to be a ground ball, 5-3, and a run scores. And believe me, it's not because I'm in Pennsylvania. I'm a Pirates fan. But just because the runner would have advanced, there was no double play. Okay. Yep. So, yeah. So Craig designed it this way. One of the first questions you had. He wanted you to play how you want, as long as you're consistent, and that's what I do. Now, what would be really, really neat, Paul, as I think about it. So, what would be fun is, let's say, late innings in the game, that you would have, and I guess you could always make this a house rule. But let's say you had a fast runner like Larry Bowa on third. And it's late innings, tight ball game. If you could roll for a chance, and I don't know, maybe that's something that can't be coded in the game, to roll to see if Bowa would actually score in a close play at the plate. I wonder if that would be something that could be, or maybe is that just I don't know if it'd be just a house rule that you would say on a, I don't even know how you would figure that out on a rule of 1 to whatever he scores. I just think in a late inning game, right, that's that player taking that chance. So keep talking, making breakfast. All right, just don't get, I hope Mrs. Paul doesn't get upset because you're supposed to be taking a break. All right, who do we got here? So Lazinski, let's get a batter up here. There we go. All right, here's Dick Allen, Hall of Fame class 2025, along with Dave Parker. All right, John Matlack has the sign. Here's the wind and the pitch. And this is going to be a batter 12. And here we go. Yes, we have a park. Okay, so guys, on a park effect, we go to power. All right, now we see it's a 4. So this one really isn't going to make much of a difference. But since this is a pitcher's park, we knock this down 1 to 3, but it's still just a base hit. And actually, if you look at these charts, you'll see that, you're not going to get this kind of weird sort of difference where it would go from, a double to just a little grounder to third. Okay. So, but in this case, this is going to be a single with a 2-base advance. There's nobody on. But what I like to do is I still like to just, whatever the play says is what I like to do. It's not going to change anything. So, but that's what we did. So when we went to that 3 or that 4 to a 3, it was still a single and the runners advanced 2 bases. And because it was a pitcher's park, I had to go down 1. Now, if this was a hitter's park, a neutral park, again, we would have stayed on the 4. And if it was a hitter's park, I would just go up to 5 and it would have been a ground rule double. So that's really the only thing you have to do. You just got to look at these charts. Say I rolled a slide or die on your table, and then depending upon which way you can click runner and option to advance on hit or error or erase runner. This needs to be finessed further. Okay, that's a cool idea. That's a really cool idea, Paul. So, Paul, you're in the UK right now, and you're going to be coming to the United States pretty soon. So maybe you'll be able to catch one of these when you're maybe not making dinner, or not making breakfast, making dinner. Who knows? All right. So we got a runner on first, 2 down. We're not going to let them run themselves out of the inning, obviously. And brings up Jerry Martin. Maybe we should call for the steal. Here's the pitch to Jerry Martin. And this one is going to be a left-right. I still want the pitcher to face the opposite way. I could just go crazy having to look at these. Okay, so anyhow, lefty, righty, no advantage. So this is going to be a park check 7. So we just go here. And it's a 7. So we go to the 7. And this is going to be a double, runners advance 2 base. I love this game so much, man. I do. I love pocket pennant run baseball. Just love it. All right. In the box now is Mike Anderson. And Matlack giving up 2 runs so far. 2 down, 2 in scoring position for the Philadelphia Phillies here, top of the first at Shea Stadium. And here's the pitch. This one hit out to right field. And Rusty Staub, Le Grand à l'Orange. This is going to be a nice routine F9 to end the inning. Go to the bottom of the first. The Philadelphia Phillies pick up 2 runs on 4 hits. New York Mets coming to bat. Leading off for the Metropolitans will be Dale Unser here. Just mucking about with the game here, September 21st, 1975. All right, the lefty in the box, and here we go. Here's the wind and the pitch from Dick Ruthven. And when you see these 2 numbers, they sometimes can be trouble. So let's see what happens here. This is a batter 10, and this is a power check 1. Oh, boo. So this one just a fly to right. Okay. Just a little fly ball out to right field. It was a deep fly ball to right. Let's call it that. All right. Brings up Felix Mian. And Ruthven lets it go. This one hit up toward first. And this is going to be not a range check, but we still do go to this. So hit to Dick Allen. And this is just going to be a 3 unassisted. We'll just score it as that. Now, the interesting thing I also would want to ask Paul, and I know I'm going to get in trouble here by Mrs. Paul, but sometimes just for giggles, instead of making it a 3 unassisted, maybe I'll do it like a 3-1 or something like that, because those outs really aren't clearly defined. I mean, mostly that would be maybe a ground ball unassisted, but maybe in this case, sometimes too, it happens that Ruthven, you can see he's not a very good fielder. He's a red, so he doesn't field his position very well. But sometimes when I'm messing around, I'll be like, okay, if the pitcher's a blue or green fielder, sometimes he's going to go over, and you do the 3-1 put out. So, so you do that on strange plays, on range plays. Okay, that's what you do. All right, that's cool. So again, you're right. It's about the consistency. How about it? Yep. So on 3-1, 4-1, etc. Right. It's just that I noticed like when I was playing a lot, I'm just like, oh my god, I'm hitting 3 unassisted, 3 unassisted, 3 unassisted. So every once in a while, it doesn't matter. The out's recorded. I guess it matters just in terms of the strict replay. And by the way, I forgot to mention, you guys, another nice thing about this. This game lets you simulate hitting streaks. How cool is that? So if we were playing a game in 1941, and here would be a fun project if somebody wanted to do this in pocket pennant run baseball. Since this game allows you to just jump in and play, like in this case, you have to load in the 1941 season, but start right with DiMaggio's first hit in that 56-game hitting streak. But before you do, boost him, right? Because remember, you can boost one player and slump one player, right, in a team. So you could boost DiMaggio and see how close you could come to recreating that 56-game hitting streak. It's not that it gives him, it's gonna guarantee a hit, but it will increase the likelihood of a hit, right? And so, but there are rules that, so if DiMaggio, right, that first game of that 56-game hitting streak, if DiMaggio doesn't get a hit, then that's gone. But that opens up another possibility. That I don't know that other games allow you to just, I'm going to bump this guy. And I think that's really cool. So think about that for hitting streaks, or even guys that, hit over 400. Well, you're going to probably want to boost them a little bit. So again, thinking of Ted Williams in the same year with that, 406? Yeah. 406 average in 1941. So there's a thing. Paul says the major thing with new ratings was not alienating original supporters. Well, I've been playing this since Pocket Pennant Run too, so does that count? Me being an original supporter. And I never knew of version 1 of this game. I don't even know what it was about. I didn't even know if this existed, actually. But I'm not alienated. I like it. And the fact that if you can, I guess for some of those players, if you guys are going to allow to change the rating. So look, no, I just want to play with A, B, C, D. I don't want to mess with all the nuance. I think as long as Craig puts that that choice in there, I don't think you're going to alienate anybody. But if they change it completely and say, okay, you have to play with these plus minus ratings, it might honk a few people off for a minute until they get used to it. I don't think it's going to be that bad. I really, really don't. Yeah. Okay. Well, and so yeah, some people want only the basic game. Well, again, go up here to options and bam, change it into basic, right? All right. Yeah. I promise no. I've only been mentioning things that's been going on the Facebook. So, yeah. All right. What do we got here? Paul's up to some alchemy over there, I think. All right, here's Mike Vale. We're not going to play this whole game, guys. All right, so Vale, this one swung on. This is a batter, 7, and what do we got here? We got us a base hit. Yes, we do. The flow of this game is so nice. Now, we're not going to run with this guy. I know that Craig said at some point they're going to be working on the quote-unquote AI for this. I've seen it sometimes call for steals and things like that in situations it just wouldn't. All right, so here we go, guys. I'm going to put this up here. Every player will be internally rated at A minus, B minus, C minus, and D. I see. I would have no trouble with that. I would have no trouble at all with that rating system. That seems like, I don't know how big of an undertaking that's going to be, but I think Craig mentioned that he's been working on that for a little while now, so that'll be fun to see. That would definitely be fun to see. All right, here's Rusty Staub, or some like to say the La Grande à l'Orange. All right, here we go. And here is the pitch, and this one is going to be batter 12. Now we're getting park checks all over the place. So then we go here to power. It's a 10. This is going to be a home run either way. And so we're going to drop it down to a 9, but this is a home run by Rusty Staub. So 2-run shot. And just like that, the Metropolitans take the lead in this early game. So, or no, they tied up. I'm sorry. So it's 2-2. 2-2. I don't know why I was thinking it was like 2-1, whatever, 2-0, whatever it was. Or I thought Philadelphia had one more run. Or no, I thought Philly only had one run. They had 2. So I'm an Egypt. All right, batter up. We'll just play out this. Here's Dave Kingman. So this is so accurate too for Kingman because there's his power rating. But he's really a C batter because you look at his stats here. So he hits 36 home runs, but a 231 average. So I guess Kyle Schwarber learned a lot from Dave Kingman. How about it? What is it you keep saying? Oh, so he had red hair, and Le Grand à l'Orange, Le Grand Orange is basically like the big redhead in French is all that means. Le Grand à l'Orange. Very bad French. But just really means the big orange is all it means. So Paul says, game will list all the players in both teams who are minus rated. You can auto roll for those players, and it will give you the training room report for each guy. If strong, he keeps his rating A4. That's a cool idea. I like that. Oh my God, that's great. Yeah, this game is really, really evolving into something. So, and if he fails, he drops to a B for the game. So in other words, this is something, Paul, that happens before the game. Is that what? Just to be clear, let me see. Reminder: you can auto roll for those players, and it will give you the training room report. Okay, cool. I like that. You can swap your lineups at that point. Oh, that's super cool. Man, this thing is taking on a life of its own. And you say these ratings will, there's the conjunction, but, it's always a but, isn't there? Okay, yes, pregame, okay. There's always a but. So we wait for that now. And there is, again, 2 buts. Is that like Arthur? Do you guys remember the Monty Python episode where the guy apparently had, 3? You Python fans know what I'm talking about. So there we go. Paul kind of giving us a little Python here. S pitchers, you can't change them. Okay, starting pitchers, you can't change them. That's interesting. Okay. Biggest update of this game that I was happiest about was being able to change pitcher fatigue. Because old Walter Johnson, you're not going to yank him after 7. Or any of those dead ball guys, man, they pitched. Paul giving us a little laugh there. Aaron Reed, Python fan. Good man, Aaron. All right. Anyhow, I'm not up to really playing a whole game here. We've gone long enough. So So you roll until after the game starts. Okay, that's really cool. I like that idea. Can't wait for it. It's going to be fun. But that being said, I know that I'm pretty much known for making late streams, and I just realized it's late. But I have Monday off actually, so I do want to do some more baseball. Maybe we'll do a chin wag tomorrow night. Get some folks on. Get Aaron on here, talk some baseball, or whoever wants to come on. But it's 2:36 here, Eastern Daylight Time, and I'm tired. I can barely see the board. My eyes are blurry. So, but just remember that you can do this. So let's recap. Going back to Dombrov before we jump out of here. And thank you, Pocket Pennant Run, for being so awesome. I love you. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Kiss, kiss, kiss. Get past the interface and the non-scalable fonts, and you've got a very, very good baseball game in Dombrov Baseball. The baseball reference import is especially amazing. With bringing in fielder data for everybody. Love to see fielding, and there's a lot of emphasis on that in this game. It's extremely customizable. There's also in the patch notes, which you guys can check out. There's better integrations also with Seamhead's data as well. So Richard quietly dropped a big update on this today. So for anybody that is thinking about the game, you can download a free version, and you can play out a whole season, couple seasons, whatever. And if you like it, plunk down $25. It comes with, as you saw, tons of stuff there. Create any kind of season you can imagine. You want to create a season of, the best third place teams in baseball history. Well, you can do it if you're willing to put in the work. Pretty good stuff. All right. Hey, you are very welcome, Paul. Thank you for coming in, and if the missus asks, I'll just say we're up there in Liverpool having a jambotti, and we weren't talking about baseball at all, Mrs. Paul. How's that sound? We'll just do that because you don't want to get Mrs. Paul upset. She is a Scouser, I believe, right? Is she a Scouser as well? Like you? So I think, she could be a Bromie, a Geordie. I don't know. Gotta ask. I may have asked this before. All right. Anyhow, thank you and cheers to Paul, to Aaron Reed. Nathaniel was in here for a little while. And both of us were at the Legend Sports Universe game. So game 2 of the NLDS. No spoilers. Oh, no. And the guy that I was hoping would be in here. Also, thank you to Barnstormer Life in the Bleachers for coming in. A couple more times, you get yourself a wrench. So, Jack, hopefully this will be helpful for you. Oh, wow. So she's from Manchester. Okay. Well, that works. Anyhow, hello, Mrs. Paul. Cheers. How are you? Lovely to meet you. All right, please don't be too mad at Paul. He wasn't doing any development. He was just helping me because I'm a bit of an idiot. All right, guys. Until the next time, we'll see you around the batting cage. Be well. Play lots of baseball. Play whatever game you love and enjoy it. Okay. Mixed marriage. Well, what's the saying in Blighty, right? You know who to hate as soon as the other person opens his or her mouth, right? So it's funny because Americans think about this. You could do a British accent. It's like there's so many. There are so many, and that's just in England. Just in England, and then you got to mix in the Welsh and the Scots, and it's like everybody thinks every Irishman sounds like the Lucky Charms leprechaun. Always after me, Lucky Charms. Or they think that every Irishman says, "Sure me gore me bio." And that's just not the case. Some Irish sound like they're Brits. And some Brits sound like they're Irish. And ne'er the twain shall meet. Anyhow, I'm getting out of here because I'm really tired. All right, guys, take care. See you around the batting cage.